Hey friends, it's Lisa Mears here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm super excited to share with you the Stamps of Life May card kit along with this month's Stamp and Die Hard Club set. And afterwards I will be making some cards with these products. The club sets for this month are so fun and incredibly versatile. You can easily make both masculine and feminine cards with them and for all different occasions. So let's start out with the Stamp Club set of the month, which is called Trucker Hat. This set features two fun trucker hat designs with some playful phrases that you can stamp right on front of the hat. There's also this fun patch that you can put on front of the hat, and you can put the phrases in the patch or inside the hat itself. Some of the phrases include stay cool, just breathe, coffee please, good vibes only, and boss babe. If you're a member of the Stamp Club, you'll get the stamp set, and if you're a member of the Die Hard Club, you would get both the stamp and the die set. Now let's take a look at the card kit of the month, and this card kit is called You're a Cool Friend. The card kit always coordinates with the Stamp and Die Hard Club set of the month, so as we go through the unboxing of the card kit, you'll see a lot of those fun trucker hat designs. You always get a large storage envelope to store your kit contents, or you can use it to store cardstock, and you always get a pack of envelopes for A2 size cards. The cardstock colors that you get with this month's kit include Blue Jay, Flamingo, Pacific, Banana, Strawberry, Blueberry, Grass, Chocolate, and there are 4 sheets of powdered sugar cardstock, which is the white cardstock. The pattern paper pad this month, it's called You're a Cool Friend. All of the same colors in the cardstock are in this color palette. You get these fun trucker hats with the patches on them. These are so cute. They have little rainbows and flowers and hearts. And then on the reverse is a pattern of smiley faces, and you'll see that throughout this paper pad on the reverse side of the patterns you'll get the smiley faces in all different colors. And then the You Are a Cool Friend, you also get the coordinating word die with this, and when you die cut it, it has the same exact font. You can see there's little stars in some of the letters. So you do get that word die that you can die cut and include on cards. There's that fun smiley face pattern in the blue color. And then you get the trucker hats that you can die cut with the trucker hat dies if you are a member of the Die Hard Club and received those. There's also this sheet of different icons such as a peace sign, there's a heart, there's flower, smiley face, and then you have the smiley face on the reverse and polka dots. There's some more smiley faces in the Blue Jay color and some more trucker hats. Now this page you would need the trucker hat dies, but also if you want to cut out these small little icons, you would need to purchase the more trucker hat dies in order to cut those out. Otherwise you can just use your scissors and fussy cut those out. We have some greens and more smiley faces and smaller icons. There's also some red smiley faces. There's a blue and white grid, a solid yellow, and then some smaller words for the You Are a Cool Friend, some black smiley faces, and some smaller trucker hats. I love that flamingo color, that's so pretty, and then some stripes, and then it goes back to the very beginning. So lots of fun patterns in this paper pad. There's also these sentiment stickers. We have Celebrate, I Think You Are One Cool Friend, Hey There, Let's Get Together and Catch Up Soon, and Congrats. And there's also a sheet of puffy stickers with some of those icons we just saw in the paper pad. You also get this A1 scallop edge and stars die set. It makes an A1 size card, and what's fun about this is there's scalloped edge. You can also do a star edge, and there are 3 word dies included in this. We have My Friend, Stay Cool, and you got this. So that is so awesome that you get those 3 large word dies included in this die set. There's also these fun patches, and I've never seen these before in a card kit. These are so much fun. This is a heart made out of sequins. You can see how shiny it is. And then on the back, I just flipped this over. It looks like it's an iron-on patch. I could be wrong, but it looks like that to me. It's got a shiny back. So that would be super fun. You can use those probably on your cards, or if you wanted to use it as an iron-on, because that's what it looks like. Okay, there's also these fun flowers. These are super cute. There are 4 of them. They're pink and have a smiley face in the middle. They're almost like a silicone. I tried to see if they were a sticker, but they're not a sticker, but you can easily glue these onto your cardstock. They do have a flat back on them, so you can easily glue them down to your paper, and I do make a card with these, and they fit perfectly inside the trucker hat and are so cute. So that's everything that's included in the card kit for the month of May. If you are interested in joining any of the clubs, whether it's the Stamp Club, the Die Hard Club, the Card Kit Club, there's even a Fold It Club, which I do not have, but you can head over to the Stamps of Life website and check that out. I will have a link down in the description below if you're interested in joining. I always appreciate when you use my link to join or even to upgrade your membership, because I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you, and you get $5 bonus club points to spend in the Stamps of Life store if you click on my link or use my code Lisa Mears to sign up. So let's go ahead and make some cards with these products. I want to start out by using the A1 Scallop Edge and Stars card die set. This die set will make an A1 size card, and here's the card base. I've die cut the card base out of the white cardstock. It does put a score line down the center, so you can easily fold it in half. It does cut out the scalloped edge on the front, which is so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and then you have these 2 layering dies for the front of the card. You have one that has the scallops and one that has the stars. Here's the star edge. It actually cuts those stars out. If you wanted to save those stars, you can save them for another project or use them on your card. And then this next die will cut out just the scallop edge. So if you didn't want to have the star edge, you can use the scalloped edge by itself, or you can use it as a layering piece behind the stars to give them some color. So I die cut the star die with the Blue Jay cardstock and then the layering piece behind it in the strawberry cardstock. And you can see how they layer together. You can use them together or individually. So if I just wanted to have the scallops, I can put that strawberry piece of cardstock on the front of the card base. Or if I just wanted to have the stars, I can put that on the front of the card base. You can really switch this up and make it have the different looks. I'm going to use these together so that I have the red stars underneath the Blue Jay cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this Blue Jay piece of cardstock onto the strawberry red piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to glue that piece onto the white card base. I'm not going to stop there. I did cut a piece of pattern paper to cover the top of that Blue Jay cardstock. I used the smiley face yellow pattern and cut it to 2 5/8 by 4.5, and I added that to the front of the card. Next, I'm going to work on my trucker hat. I have the stamp from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it out in some black ink onto the Pacific cardstock. So I'm going to create the outline, and this is a good technique if you don't want to color, just stamp in black ink onto colored cardstock. Or you could just stamp it on white cardstock and use your markers and color it in. I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out with the corresponding shadow die. So I'm just going to line that up, use some mint tape to hold it down, and I ran that through my die cutting machine. And it gives me this fun hat. You can use his hat as is, but I want to add some shading to this. So I am going to bring in a blue colored pencil and just add some shading around the edge of the hat. So I'm just using my blue colored pencil to color on some of the blue onto there. This is totally optional, but I do think that it adds some more definition to the hat. Once I'm finished, I'm going to bring in my Gamsol, which is a clear, odorless mineral spirit, and it's used to blend and soften the wax in the pencils. And I'm just using a blending stump to blend that out by just dipping that blending stump into the Gamsol and then bringing it to my cardstock over top of where I laid down the colored pencil onto my cardstock, and it just breaks up the wax in that colored pencil and it smooths it over top of the cardstock. If you don't have colored pencils and don't have the Gamsol, you can always try to add some dimension to your hat by taking a very small blending brush with some ink and putting it over the parts of the hat like I've done here. So I'm going to bring this close so you can see what that looks like. And now I'm ready to finish up this card. I took this die set again with the stars and die cut some red stars because I want to add some stars to this hat. Of course, you can stamp out the words from the stamp set like stay cool, just breathe, coffee please, good vibes only, or boss babe. Or if you wanted to just put an icon on there, you can. But I decided to just go with the star theme and add some stars to my hat. So I'm just going to glue some stars on to the hat. For the sentiment of my card, I am using the Stay Cool. I die cut it with some of the strawberry cardstock and I'm adding it to a shadow layer that I die cut with the Blue Jay cardstock. And then I'll go ahead and glue both of those on to the card front. I don't know if you noticed, but the Stay Cool word die, it does have some stars cut out of 3 of the letters. You can see a star cut out of the A and the 2 O's. If you wanted to die cut that with a different color and piece in the stars in a different color, that would be super fun as well. Now I'm just taking a white gel pen and I'm just adding some more accents to my hat as well as to my letters. I think by using a white gel pen to add some accent lines, it adds even more depth and dimension to your die cuts. So this card is now finished. Moving on, I cut down 2 pieces of pattern paper to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So I have the grid paper and then the one with all of the little icons on it. And I'm just going to put them on top of each other, make sure they're all even, and I'm just going to put some mint tape to hold those pieces together because I'm going to die cut these at the same time. Using this fun die from Pink and Maine, this is the Fun Shape Border dies, and this cuts out a border into the cardstock, and it does have stitching on it, so in addition to the border, it has the stitching that we'll put on the paper. So I went ahead and placed it with some mint tape, ran it through my die cutting machine, and because I had both of those pieces hooked to each other, it die cut both of them at the same time. So here I just need to remove this mint tape from the pattern paper. And that gives me 2 pieces of pattern paper with that same shape. And you have the stitch border on both pieces, which I couldn't believe that it actually showed up on both pieces, but it does. And you can switch up the pieces so that you have 2 fun patterns per card. So I'm able to make 2 cards with the pieces that I die cut. I have a piece of white cardstock that I cut to the same measurements, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So I'm just going to glue both of those pieces onto the white cardstock. So I have one pattern from each of those designs, and those pieces fit in like a puzzle onto the white cardstock. Because remember, they were cut with the same die, so they fit perfectly. So here are my two finished card panels. And next, I'm going to cut them down with my paper trimmer, and I am going to cut this piece so that it measures 4 inches by 5¼ inches. So remember, I started with 4¼ by 5½, and I want to cut it down 1/4 inch on each side. But instead of cutting a full 1/4 inch, I'm going to cut it down by 1/8 of an inch on each of the 4 sides. That way I can make sure that this piece of cardstock still remains centered with that pointed part from where I die cut it. I want to make sure that that stays in the middle of the cardstock in the end. So by cutting 1/8 inch from each side, that will ensure that it does stay in the middle. Hopefully that makes sense. So I cut this down so that it would fit on a piece of black cardstock and have that black edge all around the card. I'm going to put this on a piece of white cardstock just so you can see it a little better, because the black mat that I have there makes it just a little bit hard to see. So I'll go ahead and glue the pattern onto the black cardstock. And next, I'll bring out the trucker hat. I am using one of the trucker hats from the pattern paper pad and the patch that I am going to cut out of the paper pad as well. Before I die cut that patch, I am going to bring it into my MISTI, and I will be stamping one of the words from the stamp set onto the patch. It's just easier when the piece is a little bit bigger piece of cardstock for it to fit in to the MISTI, so I can line it up much easier using those magnets. And the words that I'm going to put on here are "stay cool." And you can use any one of those words, should fit in that patch. I stamp it down with some black ink, and then after I have it stamped down, I will use the coordinating die and die cut that out of the cardstock. So I'm just going to line the die up, hold it down with some mint tape so it doesn't move when I run it through my die cutting machine, and that patch is going to fit so nicely on the front of the hat. So here I'm just going to glue the patch down to the front of the red trucker hat. And now I'm ready to add this to my card front. I cut out a circle using a circle die out of black cardstock, and I put some foam on the back of the hat to pop it up on that black circle. And then I'm just going to add the circle to the card layer. I think this set would make great masculine cards, and since Father's Day is coming up next month, I am going to bring out my alphabet dies. These are some alphabet dies from scrapbook.com, and I just die cut the word dad out of black cardstock. And I am putting some foam strips on the back of the letters because I want to pop them up as well. So I'm using some thin foam strips from scrapbook.com. They go on very easily around the curves in those letters. And then I'm just going to center the word dad at the bottom of that card panel. So I'm going to start with the letter A, making sure that it's centered underneath the circle. And then once I add the A, I will add the other 2 letters on the left and right side. Those grid lines on that pattern paper make it super easy to make sure that it's aligned at the bottom and all those letters are even. But if you are using paper without grid lines, you can always just bring in a ruler if you want to make sure that you get those letters even. Next, I'll add that to a white card base. And then I decided that I want to add some more accents to those letters. So I'm just going to bring in a white gel pen and add some white accent marks to the letters. I also used the second card panel that I had made with the pattern paper and made a similar card, only this time I used a yellow hat and stamped the words "Good Vibes Only" directly on the hat with 2 lightning bolts, and added 2 puffy stickers to the card as well. For my next card, I really wanted to showcase some pattern paper, and I decided to bring in the trucker hat pattern. But I'm going to start with this strawberry cardstock that I cut down to 5.5 by 4.25, and I'm going to add a piece of black cardstock to the top. The black cardstock is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And the trucker hat pattern paper is 5 1/4 by 4, and I'll add that to the top of the black cardstock. So I have a few different layers going on here. Next, I have a piece of the green striped pattern paper. I cut that to 5 1/4 by 1.5. I'm adding that to the very bottom of the trucker hat pattern. And then I have a black strip of cardstock that I cut down to 5 1/4 by 1/8 inch. I'll put some glue on the back of that, and I'm going to put it where the trucker hat pattern and the green striped pattern meet. So we'll just add that there to add that nice black border. Next, I have a sentiment sticker. It says, "I think you are one cool friend." I'm adding that to a piece of black cardstock, and then I used my paper trimmer to trim the bottom edge and the right edge so there's just a little bit of black extending beyond the edges. I put some foam on the back of the sentiment to pop it up, and I added it to my card layer, and then I'm also adding the peace sign to the card. This peace sign is a puffy sticker, and I did put some foam on the left edge to add some height to it because the left edge will be pressed against the cardstock, and then the right corner will be adhered to the sentiment. So I want to make sure that it does lay flat on the card. And then I'm just going to add that to a card base. This is a super quick and easy card to make, and it really showcases that pattern paper. So I added that to a white card base, and this card is completed. So all of my card designs so far have been more masculine themed, but of course I could not resist making a card that is feminine with this trucker hat. I had to bring in some pinks. I did die cut the trucker hat. I have the shadow and then the layering die. The shadow I cut with the pink cardstock, and the layering die I cut with the blue jay cardstock. Here I'm just taking a white gel pen and I'm putting some stitching lines all around the edges of the hat that goes on top. So rather than stamping this out with some black ink, I'm keeping it really feminine and just adding some white lines to the edges. I'm sorry that's a little bit blurry, but you'll see it better here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and add that hat to the pink cardstock, and then I'm going to bring in this fun pink embellishment of the flower with the smiley face, and I added some glue to it, and it fits perfectly on the front of the trucker hat. For the card layers on my card, I have the blue jay cardstock cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'm going to add that to a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I also have the pink smiley face pattern paper cut to 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm adding that to the left side of the blue cardstock. And then I have a die that I cut out of a Pretty Pink Posh eyelet rectangle. I cut this out of white cardstock, and I'm adding that to the center of my card. And by the way, if you're interested in knowing more about any of the additional products I've used on my cards today, there will be product links in the description below and on my coordinating blog post. And that link will be in the description box as well. So I'm going to add the hat to the card at the bottom of the white rectangle. And then for the sentiment, I die cut the words "my friend" out of the pink cardstock or the flamingo cardstock, and I'm going to add that to the top of the card. I'm not using the shadow die. There is one included, but I'm not using it for this card. I also die cut the My Friend out of the yellow cardstock because I wanted to use those yellow stars to fill in the sentiment where those stars are cut out. I'm putting a drop of glue inside of the star, and then I'm using the wax tip of my scrapbook.com pick up and place tool to pick up the star and place it in the hole. And then I'm using the other end, which is the pointy end, to make sure that it's in place. This tool is so useful when you have small embellishments or small pieces of cardstock that you need to pick up and place on your card. Next, I'm going to add that layer to a white A2 size card base. And then this card is complete. I really love how versatile this set is. You can make not only masculine cards, but feminine cards as well, and you can use it for all types of occasions. So here's a look at the cards that I made with the club products for May. I would love for you to leave me a comment and let me know which card is your favorite. Again, if you're interested in joining a club, check the link in the description box below. And if you'd like to know any additional supplies I've used today, those links will be down below as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like videos like this and want to see more, please click that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.